What's up, people? J-Dub here. Money in the Bank 2011 is in the books. If you happen to miss the show, which I don't know how in the hell you could have missed the show, like what were you possibly doing to miss Money in the Bank with all of this buzz surrounding this pay-per-view? But whatever it was, if you did miss the show, you missed out on a fucking awesome pay-per-view. If you happen to see it, make sure you share with me your opinions down in the comment section below. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts, opinions, and views on this pay-per-view in this video, so make sure you rate this video thumbs up, and also if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button up there. Thanks. On to the first match of the night. They got the night started off on a great note. The SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match. Bryan, Cena, Cara, Sheamus, Cody, Rhodes, Kane, Wade, Barrett, Heath, Slater, and Gabriel. What I really loved about this match, by the way, the entire match from start to finish was just great. Absolutely amazing. But what I really loved about it, everybody had their great spots in the match. Everybody got a portion of the highlight reel because everybody in this match really performed well. There was one point where Heath, Slater, Gabriel, Cena, Cara, and Bryan, there was like this sequence of moves, each of them hitting some sort of variation of, you know, vaulting themselves to the outside of the ring and crashing down on one of their opponents. That was pretty great to see those moves, you know, all consecutively. That was great. While all guys performed well, I have to give the MVP award to Sheamus. Now that seems like kind of an unconventional choice, seeing as Sheamus, he isn't really a high flyer, not really a risk taker. Well, he takes risks with other people's bodies, not really his own, but that's one of the reasons why he was so great in this match. There was one point where he was on the ring apron with Cara, and there was this ladder that was like bridged between the ring and the Spanish announce table, and Sheamus did a powerbomb on Cara, put him through that ladder, completely obliterated it. It was broken in half and obliterated, you know, Cara in the process also. The ladder was broken in half on the ground. Cara was lying in the wreckage. He was shaking and going through convulsions and shit, and they had to put him on a stretcher, cart him out of the arena, so he was out of the match. At that point, Sheamus, he went on to dominate, wreak havoc on the rest of his opponents with the power, the strength, the dominance. That was all great, but to no avail because he didn't end up winning the match. The winner turned out to be Bryan, which was a fucking shock to me. It was great that he won. I'm cool with Bryan winning, but to be completely honest, he was not my first choice to win. He was not my second or third or fourth for that matter. He was probably like fifth or sixth, somewhere down there. But it was still cool to see him win. But in the interest of full disclosure, I have to say, before this match even started, when I was going through my predictions, I broke up the match in two groups. 4 people who had a chance of winning and 4 people who had no chance in hell. My number 1 and number 2 chances of winning, Wade Barrett, Sheamus. Then we had Cody Rhodes and Cara on that side, and I'm admitting that Bryan was on the side of no chance in hell of winning. But when it came down to him, Wade Barrett, they were the last 2 guys on that ladder. Wade Barrett tried to go for the wasteland, but Bryan started hitting him in the head with the series of elbows to the head, and he ends up kicking Wade Barrett in the skull. He falls off the ladder. Then Bryan climbs to the top, unhooks that briefcase. There you go. Bryan is the Money in the Bank winner. And I'm not going to say it. I don't want to be seen pessimistic or cynical in this moment of great celebration for the Bryan fans, but you know, it's only, I guess it's only fair since people brought it up. Hell, when The Miz won, they were told, oh, The Miz is going to be the first person to cash in the Money in the Bank and then not win the championship. Turns out they were completely wrong, but could it happen in the case of Bryan? I mean, Bryan, he really does have a future world championship, a contract for a future world championship in his hands. Could it happen? Could he actually get to the world championship within the next year? I don't know. You guys be the judge. Let me know down in the comment section below. But, you know, in the meantime, congrats to Bryan. Second match of the night was the Easy Max Snack Break, aka the Divas Championship match, Kelly versus Brie Bella. There's not much that I can say about this match, although the Easy Mac that I had during the match, it was absolutely amazing. But as far as the match itself, it was alright. I mean, Kelly, she ended up retaining her championship after winning with the Fame Master, or whatever the hell she's calling it now. I didn't hate the match. There was one cool moment where Kelly, she was on the ring apron and she jumped, you know, she vaulted herself on the Bella Twins who were waiting, you know, outside of the ring, and she did like this double clothesline on both of them. That was pretty cool, but other than that, there was nothing, you know, that stood out in my mind in this match, and I guess that's all I have to say. Hell, it was just filler, you know, stuff to waste time to get to the important stuff anyway, so they did what they needed to do, I guess. Next matchup was Mark Henry versus Big Show. I have to admit that these guys, they had a really good feud going into this match, but I already knew not to expect much because they're so big and it's only so much that they can do in the ring, especially do in the ring together with both of them being so big. So I didn't expect much from this match. It was maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. It was harmless, I guess harmless to everybody except for the Big Show because he got his ass whooped. But I guess it filled its purpose, seeing as Mark Henry, it was used to, you know, continue his push that he's getting, show he's this big, powerful, and dominant guy, and it really did show that. At the beginning of the match, Big Show, he was working over Mark Henry really well until they got to the outside of the ring where Mark Henry did a drop kick on the steel steps. The steel steps went crashing into Big Show's injured leg, and at that point you could have called the match over with right there because that injured leg was really a factor. They worked their way back into the ring. Mark Henry starts putting submissions on that injured leg. Then he gets to a point where he puts the he hits Big Show with a World's Strongest Slam, pins him, no 3 count, gets him back up, hits him with another World's Strongest Slam, then hits him with 2 splashes, pins him, 1, 2, 3, match over and done with. And after the match, to put insult to injury, or injury to insult, whichever the hell way it works, he goes to the outside of the ring, picks up a chair, unfolds it, puts Big Show's leg through the chair, jumps on the turnbuckle, and then crashes down on the chair and Big Show's leg, crushing it. Then the EMTs have to come and check the Big Show out also and take him out of the arena. So I guess if the match was nothing special, but I guess if you look at it from the perspective of it did what it needed to do, you know, continue the push of Mark Henry, I guess in that, you know, light, it was a successful match. The Raw Money in the Bank ladder match was up next. Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio, The Miz, Alex Riley, R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, and Jack Swagger were the competitors. I liked this match, but there were a couple of things that I did not like about it. One of those things being the beginning, with everybody in the ring with their little ladders and trying to battle and knock the other one down. It kind of reminded me too much of American Gladiators. You know, when they used to have like those big ass Q-tip looking things and try to knock each other off the pedestal. It reminded me too much of that, so I didn't really like that. Also, SmackDown Money in the Bank was a lot different than this one because I feel like the SmackDown Money in the Bank, it was more spread out. It captivated me. It kept my attention from start to finish. But with this match, a lot of the great stuff that happened in it was towards the beginning, like in the first half of the match, and they were so clustered, and I felt like they should have spread it out because they gave us too much too soon. I don't feel like they sustained it from start to finish. So that was, you know, a couple of problems that I had with this match, but they did have some good moments in it, such as R-Truth vaulting himself over the top rope onto his opponents that were waiting on the outside of the ring, then Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston getting up on the top turnbuckles and then, you know, vaulting themselves on all of the guys that were outside of the ring. Then Evan Bourne, he decides to climb to the top of like a 20-25 foot ladder, hits an airborne on all of his opponents who were waiting down below, and that was absolutely amazing. And what was even more amazing, seeing a smile on his face after he did it. That was pretty great. But yeah, there were a lot of great moments in this match also, but I feel that the SmackDown Money in the Bank was better. And another problem that I had with this one, since the action really didn't sustain me, like, I'm not saying that it was bad, it just wasn't, you know, oh my god type stuff going on. I was sitting up wondering where the hell people were. Like, people were disappearing during the match. Like Alberto Del Rio, for instance. He would be in the ring for 1 minute, get knocked out of the ring, be out for like 4 or 5 minutes, come back in the ring for 1 minute, get knocked out 4 or 5 minutes, come back into the ring, and hell, that ended up leading him to victory because he ended up winning like that. And The Miz, he was out of the match for most of the time, but it was because of Alberto Del Rio, you know, and during one of his times he jumps back in the ring for a minute, you know, because The Miz and Evan Bourne, they were on the top of the ladder, both trying to get that briefcase. Miz was actually holding on to the briefcase. Alberto Del Rio knocks the ladder out from under them. The Miz was holding on. He ends up falling down, and, you know, he said he had a knee injury, so they had to take him to the back. Then later on in the night, where everybody was down, everybody seemed like they were out of the match, he comes hobbling down the ramp on one leg, and the crowd is going absolutely wild. He starts to climb that ladder to the Money in the Bank briefcase. The crowd is still going absolutely wild. Then Rey Mysterio comes out of nowhere, hits a powerbomb on the Miz. He starts to climb the ladder himself. The crowd starts booing like hell. Then Alberto Del Rio, he gets in the ring. He starts climbing the ladder, and he had this great moment where he decided, you know, he's like, damn, what can I do to distract Rey Mysterio from this briefcase? And what he decides to do, rips Rey Mysterio's mask off. Rey Mysterio instantly stops worrying about the briefcase, goes to cover his face. That allows Alberto Del Rio to push him off of the ladder that they were both on, knock the other ladder over, and that ladder actually knocked his ladder over too, so he had to set it back up. He set it up, climbed to the top, unhooked the briefcase. Alberto Del Rio is the Raw Money in the Bank winner. I pretty much predicted that he was going to win, you know, before the event, and this match, it was pretty good, but I think SmackDown Money in the Bank, it just set the bar too high earlier on in the night. The World Heavyweight Championship match was up next. Christian versus Randy Orton. The stipulation for the match was if Randy Orton lost by disqualification, then he would still lose the World Championship. It turns out in the end that's exactly what happened. Christian, he was perfect in his role of the antagonist. He did everything possible to provoke Randy Orton into getting himself disqualified, to, you know, try to pull out that irate character, those voices in Randy Orton's head that tells him to do crazy shit, and he did just that. The ending of the match came with Randy Orton. He was in his RKO mode. He was beating down on the mat. Christian was down and out on the mat, so he thought, but Christian crawls over to the corner. Orton goes to follow him, and at that point, Christian spat in Randy Orton's face. Randy Orton went nuts, literally. Like, he got up and he kicked Christian right in his, and that ended up getting Randy Orton disqualified. Christian is a two-time world champion now. A lot of people never thought that he would get to that first one, but now Christian stands there as a two-time world champion. Hopefully this reign lasts a lot longer than the last one did. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'm glad that this feud has taken a new turn, because I was honestly kind of getting tired of it. At one point, it was my favorite storyline going in WWE, but it's only so many times you can see the same thing over and over again before you get tired of it. Like, they kept doing, you know, Christian, he's in a match with Randy Orton. He gets his ass kicked. Oh, I can beat Randy Orton. Put him in another match. He gets his ass kicked. Oh, I can beat Randy Orton. They put him in another match. Now he finally got the World Championship. And now Randy Orton, he's irate like that monster Randy Orton, that, you know, one with the short fuse. That guy is finally back, because at the end of the match, well, after the match was over with, Randy Orton went crazy on Christian. He actually did a couple of RKOs on the Spanish announce table, and the Spanish announce table was not destroyed. So at the end of the night, the Spanish announce table was still standing, surprisingly. But yeah, like I said, Christian, two-time world champion. He actually won the title after getting kicked in the balls. Could you believe that? That's probably the only time in human history where getting kicked in the balls is a good thing. So congratulations to Christian, I guess. Enjoy the title reign, because you never know when it could end. But yeah, this was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed it. A lot of false finishes, fast-paced action. It was pretty much typical stuff from Randy Orton and Christian, usually what we've seen from them in their last couple of matches. But in their case, typical is actually a good thing. So thumbs up. And now the match that was set to change WWE's landscape forever. The main event. The match that everybody has been waiting for. The WWE Championship match. John Cena versus CM Punk. I have to start out by giving props to both guys. Notice I said both. CM Punk and John Cena, because CM Punk, he's going to get a lot of praise tonight. But let's face the facts. We all knew CM Punk was going to go out there and deliver. And deliver he did times 10. But he was not in the match himself. John Cena was half of that match, and he was fucking awesome also. Just as awesome as CM Punk was, John Cena was awesome also, because there was never one point in the match where Cena looked like he was in over his head, or he couldn't keep up with Punk, or Punk was carrying him through the match. It was very equal, very back and forth, and I absolutely love the storytelling in this match. If you looked at the beginning, it was completely different towards the end, and you know, I love the evolution of the match, how it started out. It was the slow chain wrestling, then it evolved into another portion. They were doing the aerial moves, then they were also doing some risky moves and the submissions and things like that. I absolutely love this match, love the storytelling in it. They had a long time to, you know, tell that story, and both of them sold it perfectly. I really love this match, if you can't tell already. yeah, Cena, he had a lot more moves in his repertoire. He left the repetitive Cena backstage. He really stepped it up tonight, and I'm fucking proud. Like, I'm proud. Like, he really stepped it up tonight. He rose to the occasion, and yeah, there were a lot of false finishes in this match, a lot of counters. I've criticized Cena in the past before because he always does sloppy-ass counters into the STF, but he did a pretty good one tonight when I think he countered the GTS into the STF. It rolled on very smoothly, and I don't know exactly what happened. All I know, it was fucking awesome. And yeah, the ending of the match came where CM Punk was locked into the STF. Cena had him locked in, and Vince and one of his cronies, John Laurinaitis, the WWE executive, they come down to the ramp. Vince starts to signal for the bell so the referee can call for the bell, kind of like what he did with the Montreal Screwjob in 1997, but the referee's back was turned to Vince, so he couldn't see him, but Cena could, and he could also see John Laurinaitis running down to the ring. Cena breaks the hold, which was his death knell. Like, that was when the match was all over for him, because he breaks the hold on CM Punk, jumps out of the ring, knocks out John Laurinaitis, runs over to Vince like, nah, it ain't happening like that. It's not going down like this as long as I'm in the ring. So he jumps back into the ring. Then he ends up getting hit by a GTS. CM Punk pins him. 1, 2, 3. Match over and done with at that point. CM Punk is your new WWE champion. Vince McMahon is standing on the ramp looking fucking stupid. Like, he's looking like dumbfounded, bewildered, like flabbergasted. He doesn't know what to do. Then all of a sudden he runs over to the announce table. He takes one of the announcer's headsets. He says, cut CM Punk's music. He calls for Alberto Del Rio to get his ass out there with that Money in the Bank briefcase. He comes out to the ring. Before he can even cash it in, CM Punk kicks him in the head, completely knocks him out. CM Punk jumps out of the ring. He jumps onto the security barricade, blows a kiss at Vince with the WWE Championship in his hands, and walks the fuck out. CM Punk walks out with the WWE Championship. Now, out of all of the possibilities of what could have happened at Money in the Bank, that was very last on my list. CM Punk just simply winning the match and ending Money in the Bank as a WWE champion, that was last on my list. I was so fucking shocked to see that happen. Once again, CM Punk had my jaw on the floor. Doesn't happen too often, but CM Punk has made it happen, you know, twice within a very short span of time. And wow, this was absolutely amazing to watch. The match was amazing. The crowd made it even more amazing. The ending made it even more amazing. And that's my word, amazing all around. Absolutely loved it. And now it begs a lot of questions. Like, we're asking, what happens now? What happens with John Cena? Is he going to be fired like Vince McMahon said he was going to do? What happens with CM Punk? Is he going to sign a contract with WWE, or is he going to leave with the championship? What happens with the WWE Championship? When are we going to see CM Punk again? Are we going to see CM Punk again? You know, what the hell is going to happen? What's the future of the WWE Championship? A lot of questions that are being asked right now. What's going to happen on Monday Night Raw? And nobody knows. I don't care how you think you know. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and I can't wait to see it all unfold. But before we can get to Monday Night Raw, let's close it out on Money in the Bank. This is by far best pay-per-view of the year, even over WrestleMania. And that's a clear-cut case. But as far as the match goes, a lot of people are saying this is the best match that they've seen in the last 10 years, best match that they've ever seen, an instant classic. I don't know if I would go that far, but I would say it's definitely in the running for match of the year. Definitely. Hands down. I don't know if it's a clear-cut case, you know, of it being the winner quite yet, but yeah, the match was fucking awesome. I really enjoyed it, and I really got my money's worth tonight because I actually did buy Money in the Bank, and I'm pleased that I did because I really got my money's worth, and I'm hoping that you guys bought the pay-per-view too. And if you didn't buy the pay-per-view, buy it on the replay. Buy it on the replay. Definitely. You have to, because I'm hoping that Money in the Bank does a good buy rate, because what we just saw tonight is signaling to me that WWE could possibly be going into a new era. But the numbers have to be there. The numbers have to be there. And if you're so hyped up and amped up to say this is the best thing that you've seen in the last 10 years, the best match that you've ever seen, the best storyline in recent memory, you got to support it. You got to start supporting it, because if you want WWE to make changes, if you want to see shit like this more on the regular on WWE, you got to start making some changes too. And I'm hoping that the numbers are there. I'm really crossing my fingers, because if this is a sign of a new era in WWE, this new era is going to be fucking awesome. And that's where I'll end this video. Thank you for watching. I am J-Dub. Peace out. Did I say Elimination Chamber or Money in the Bank? Hell, I don't even know. Oh, God.